Welcome to Writing to Win Applied Grammar. In this video, you will practice creating sentences with parallel verbal phrases. You will see how easy it is to understand content-rich sentences when details are presented with the same kind of verbal phrase. Begin by reading the sentences in this sentence-building puzzle separately. The base sentence, "My cousin Jonah surprised us all," signal in parentheses, ing, and the signal sentences, Jonah studied almost all night, signal in parentheses, ing, Jonah woke up at 6 a.m., signal in parentheses, ing, and Jonah posted the highest score on Jonah's biology final exam, signal, comma, and ing. The signals for combining these sentences are in parentheses. We know that punctuation and whole word signals in parentheses move in front of the sentences they follow. Now, we need to understand how the suffix signal ing in parentheses works. It changes the end of the first verb in the sentence and deletes all of the words before the verb. In the first signal sentence in this puzzle, the signal ing changes the verb ending on studied to studying and deletes the word in front of the verb Jonah. Do the same for the second signal sentence, changing the verb woke to waking and deleting the word Jonah. For the third signal sentence, change the verb posted to posting and delete the word Jonah. Finally, we need to replace the repeated word in the final signal sentence, Jonah, with the pronoun his. Let's read the combined sentence to determine if it is acceptable. Capital M, my cousin Jonah surprised us all, studying almost all night, waking up at 6 a.m., and posting the highest score on his biology final exam, period. Now that sounds like an acceptable English sentence. Click Submit and see if the computer agrees. It does! The combined sentence was acceptable. Scroll your cursor over the answer in the right half of the screen to see if there are other acceptable answers. Let's try a few more. Begin by reading the sentences in the sentence-building puzzle separately. The base sentence, you like it or not, and the signal sentences, the thunderstorm is likely something, something, and something, where the signal something is a placeholder. The thunderstorm arrives in the middle of the baseball game. The thunderstorm dumps 3 inches of precipitation. And the thunderstorm forces the team to reschedule the game. The signals for combining these sentences are in parentheses. Begin by moving the first 2 signals in parentheses, the word weather and the comma, in front of the sentences they follow. Next, move the signal to in parentheses immediately before the verb in the sentence and delete any words before the verb. Be sure to change the verbs in the last 3 signal sentences into their infinitive form by removing the S from each verb. Finally, replace each instance of something in all caps in the first signal sentence with the infinitive phrases created by the last 3 signal sentences. Now read the final combined sentence. Capital W, whether you like it or not, the thunderstorm is likely to arrive in the middle of the basketball game to dump 3 inches of precipitation and to force the teams to reschedule the game, period. Now that sounds like an acceptable English sentence. Click Submit and see if the computer agrees. It does! The combined sentence was acceptable. Scroll your cursor over the answer in the right half of the screen to see if there are other acceptable answers. Let's try one more. Begin by reading the sentences in the sentence building puzzle separately. The base sentence: the modern library is known for something, and for something. And the signal sentences: the library ranked The Sound and the Fury 6th among the 100 best English language novels of the 20th century. The library skewed the process in favor of U.S. American authors. And the library included titles on approval voting rather than merit. The signals for combining these sentences are in parentheses. The ing signal tells you to change the verb in the sentence into its participle form and delete any words before the verb in the signal sentence. In this example, the verb ranked becomes ranking, skewed becomes skewing, and included becomes including. Finally, replace each instance of something in the base sentence with the gerund phrases created by the 3 signal sentences. Now we can read the final combined sentence. Capital T: the modern library is known for ranking The Sound and the Fury 6th among the 100 best English language novels of the 20th century, for skewing the process in favor of U.S. American authors, and for including titles on approval voting rather than merit. Period. That sounds like an acceptable English sentence. Click Submit and see if the computer agrees. It does! The combined sentence was acceptable. Scroll your cursor over the answer in the upper right half of your screen to see other acceptable answers. In this video, you have practiced creating sentences with parallel verbal phrases. It is much easier to understand content-rich sentences when details are presented with the same kind of verbal phrase.